have 3 talents, then, with which to showcase before you, oh lovely audience. First, my lovely sense of drama, and my lovely dramatic voice. The second, my ability to make a tree. And the third, with a little help from my friends, my ability to break time. The breaking of time made all the stronger with this particular time-bending block. So, let us begin. Watch closely and you will see, amongst the bending time, my poetry. Fill the bowl with rosy wine, around her temples roses twine, and let us cheerfully awhile, like the wine and roses, smile. Crowned with roses we contemn Gyge's wealthy diadem. Today is ours, what do we fear? Today is ours, we have it here. Let's treat it kindly that it may wish, at least, with us to stay. Banish business, banish sorrow, to the gods belongs tomorrow. Now, in the performance you just saw for Spiderheart's talent show, I did 2 pieces of time magic. The first was a bit of temporal synchronicity, making it so that my visit to Rogue Torso's Skulk Shop happened at approximately the same time as my shenanigans on stage. The temporal synchronicity is sufficiently complicated that I will not be explaining how to do it in this tutorial. It just sort of happens. And a little bit of chronomancy can just make it happen deliberately. In the same way that adding a little bit of bone meal to the grass, you'll get tall grass. You might not get tall grass exactly where you wanted it to be, but if you know what you're doing, you can engineer the available grass spaces so that the tall grass will turn up where you want it to be. The other thing I was doing was, as you may have seen in the background, aging and then unaging a tree. Now, aging the tree, that's simple, that's easy. That's something so basic anyone can do it. Going forward at 1 time speed, yeah sure. Go forward at 8 times speed, basically the same thing, right? Everyone's time traveling all the time. We're just going forward at a rate of 1 time per time. And sometimes you make things go a lot faster using a little bit of skulk in place of your bone meal. Now, the growing it very quickly is very simple. On a server where you have a time-charged block, like how on Unorthoblocks we appear to have skulk as tied to chronomancy, you just take your temporally active block and create either a bounded area, ritual circle, or hyperbolic time chamber, like what I've got going on here. I strongly do not recommend using the hyperbolic time chamber setup as a beginner chronomancy. It requires significantly more expertise in what you are doing, and can be very explosive even when you aren't factoring in how the nether reacts to beds. So, presuming you're doing the simple version, a basic ritual circle, or bounded field, you want to set up points around wherever it is you're working. And you might be asking me at this point, hey Aurora, wasn't the tree at the very edge of the bounded field? And weren't you standing at the very center? And which the answer is yes. Yes, I was. And yes, the tree was. I just turned up the intensity inside that chunk of air of how fast time was going, enough so that even at the edge of the field, the tree still aged. This is not something I would recommend in terms of positioning if you happen to age like a mortal. Since my understanding is aging yourself a very long time and then unaging yourself that amount of time doesn't quite work properly if you die of old age partway through. If you're asking about the custom tree, that was just doing normal custom tree floromancy, which is either a power you have, a power you don't have, or a power that you do have, but my god, if you have to plant another custom forest, you will go insane. So, I am not doing a custom forest here on Unorthoblocks. I like my sanity, but I could do a larger custom tree to walk through how you would go about setting up a bounded field. So, even though this is going to be a simpler temporal focusing circle, I still recommend that the first step is establishing a nice, clear circle where we're going to build this. And of course, given that we are in the Nether, this is very important. Looks at the lava lake, looks back at solid ground, looks at the lava lake. So here we have a nice, simple build platform. A healthy patch of nether grass, and enough space to work in. Now, our build is going to be made a bit more complicated by the fact that we can't actually put any skulk in the central focusing spot of this array, here where the tree will grow, due to the fact that the tree's roots may grow through the skulk, which would immediately destabilize the array, and since we're building this in the Nether, it would then explode. And even then, you do not want unstable temporal space arrays unless you want to risk having your tree unmake itself. And even then, you do not want unstable temporal arrays unless you know exactly what you're doing. And since this tutorial is not a substitute for 4 years of advanced temporal engineering, the next step, after we have decided that this is our central build platform, is to decide the exact base we are going to be building this in numerically. I strongly recommend that you do not build in base 3, since base 3 is incredibly unstable, particularly with a central focusing point, since a base 3 with a central focusing point counting towards it would be a line with no lateral symmetry, and we do not want to do that. Fortunately, the time-charged array will not actually work without a little bit of activation, so I can simply build for you demonstration layouts. The version I did in the talent show and I am using over my Blaze farm was a base 5 setup. That is symmetrical. What I've got going on here is not, and you do want this to be very symmetrical if you want it to be stable. Moving off the line of symmetry introduces instability, and while a good engineered circle can work around this, it's better to just work from good design principles to begin with. Base 7 is traditionally one of the more effective magical bases, but it is uncooperative with the blocky nature of this particular realm. So when building in a world so devoted to base 4, it is appropriate to do either a 4-5 base like we have here, or an 8-9, the additional points. In fact, let us expand this to being an 8-9 base. The added temporal power will mean that we will need far less bone meal effect to still grow our tree, which for those of you copying along in your own world who are presumably not elves, you may find to be very useful. And now all that remains is to add decoration to our outside to make it less awkward to look at, and adding in our tree to grow. And doing this decoration step can be very important because it allows you to notice a little asymmetry sneaking into your build. And while natural stuff should and can be very asymmetric, advanced chronomancy, you want it to be as symmetric as you can make it. Our cute little warp sapling. So we just stand right here on this block. We kneel, focus our intent upon the growing of the tree. And then you just take a step backwards to leave the okay, why is there an angry Enderman? I swear I didn't look at...
That might have been me. I looked at the Enderman. I was just trying to, this is a very pretty area. Is this a tree? It's very nice.
It is a tree. Oh god, we have several problems. Starting with the angry Enderman. But also, This tree was not supposed to be time charged, and you've been caught up in the effect. Oh dear, we have a problem.
I mean, I'm fine. It's a very nice skulk tree.
This was supposed to be an amethyst tree. Also, oh god, we need to do something about this, because sometimes, people can seem fine after you, catch them up in a time-space event, and then they're abruptly not fine when they leave whichever Fey realm you're doing it in. And, the Nether distorts time just a little bit.
Well, mostly space, but yeah, I can see how it could distort time. But trust me, I think I'll be fine. Like, I've been through time-space warps and all that. I have a letter for you, actually.
Okay, how are we gonna deal with this Enderman?
Well, I have a bow.
Bows do not work properly on it.
You're right. I should know that. I'm just
going to try to encourage him gently off this platform and into, my moat. Come on.
Some gentle encouragement into lava.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the problem with attempting to gently encourage the Enderman into lava is that I am also, gently encouraging myself towards the lava.
Yeah. Oh, that was close. Do you not have a sword?
I do, I just don't want to be at point-blank melee range with this Enderman as soon as he aggroes onto me.
That's true.
Okay, one moment. I am making my Enderman-proof, ceiling. Hey, Enderman, I just smacked you. Get back here. Well, I have resolved the Enderman. Now can you, get down here and deliver my letter and also get into range so that I can try doing something about the, rampant misuse of time magic that I just did.
Hello. It's a beautiful tree. Okay. Letter. It's from a mysterious sender. I haven't heard of the Doppelgangers Association before.
Excuse me? How dare they? But also...
It's none of my business.
But also, you've been caught up recently in, rampant time magic, and while you look fine, it might be better if I just nullify the effect before you go home.
No, you don't need to do that. Crying obsidian, while useful, is not necessary.
But it nullifies, temporal problems, and it's...
I know.
And my understanding is that humans have a problem when you age them 100 years, and how old do you think my tree is?
Pretty big old tree. But I've experience with time and crying obsidian and time problems, and I can tell you it's probably fine. I'm probably okay, so you don't need to worry about it.
I am actively worrying about it right now. But okay, if you insist that you're fine, then you'll just allow me to accompany you back to the normal world.
I mean, that would be helpful. It was a maze getting here in the first place. Yeah. I'll take an escort back.
And you're sure you're fine?
I'm fine, yeah. I feel fine.
Okay, then. To the normal world again.
Alright. So, back in the overworld, and I'm fine.
Yes, you do appear to actually be fine.
Mm-hmm. See, I got my cool postmaster outfit, but yeah.
Yeah, and it is a very cute outfit, and...
Thank you!
And it appears you are fine.
Yeah.
I can relax now.
See?
I don't have to worry about, accidentally hurting you in my flagrant disregard for safety protocols. Oh god.
Oh, you're fine. No, it was a pretty time-space tree. It's fine.
Okay, I suppose you are fine. And it seems I have taken up far too much of your time, so if you have something else you need to go do, don't let me keep you.
Alright. I will deliver more letters if you get them from Mysterious Doppelgangers Association.
Yes,
like
thank you for reminding me that I need to show them all. They will rue not letting me join.
Well, good luck. Later.
Later. Autumn, you are such a foolish fool. To do not think to do even basic safety protocols. So, my lovely audience who is watching along on this tutorial for how to bend space-time, your first step should always be check that the area is clear, secure, make sure that nobody who could be hurt could wander in while you're doing it, because you will not have a chance to respond if your calculations are off and you have used too much time magic. Also related, humans should not be following the methodology I demonstrated, since I overclocked the amount of time. It's really easy to overclock how much time magic you're doing, and the ensuing backwash could still seriously harm a human attempting to use time-space magic to grow their trees. Just stick to using bone meal. Bone meal is safe. Bone meal doesn't potentially get people hurt. Do not use time magic with a flagrant disregard for consequences. I am such a foolish fool. The fool. Okay. No one was hurt, and lesson has been learned. And I'm wandering around Spawn Valley, unglamored. Let's just hope nobody else runs into me. I'm fine with Amelia knowing the truth, especially since she was delivering mail from the Doppelgangers Association. But I would prefer... Do I wander around unglamored just so that I have proof that something is different? And that... Arg! Choices! Let's just restock my shop. Diamonds are plenty satisfying, and I don't have to worry about things.